Right now at 6, a warning after a woman in an office building says she was robbed by a guy wandering the hallways. Now her husband is speaking out.
Obviously, she doesn't feel safe there anymore.
And it turns out those mysterious graves discovered in Fort Bend County may not be an isolated incident, where there could be many more unmarked burial sites. Plus, she is 7 months pregnant and training for a marathon. The message this Houston mom has for people who call her crazy. The news starts now.
And right now we've got breaking news in northwest Harris County. You can see from Air 11, firefighters there battling several house fires. This is at the Prestonwood Forest neighborhood off Highway 249. Plenty of smoke coming from the roof in the area.
No word just yet on what sparked the fire or if anyone has been injured. We have a crew headed to the scene. We'll be sure to bring you more information both on air and on KHOU.com.
Also tonight, a workplace warning. If you happen to see this guy hanging around your office, you should call police. The same guy has been spotted sneaking into office buildings all around town, and police say he even robbed a woman during regular business hours.
It has some women fearing they could be the next target.
Marcelino Benito is live in the Upper Kirby area where the man has been spotted. How's he getting inside the buildings, Marcelino?
Well, Len, that guy simply walked into the building behind me. You see it there, 3701 Kirby. They actually have security here on site, but no check-in process. So once he got in here, he was able to wander around undetected.
Very on edge.
This loving husband doesn't feel good about his wife working inside 3701 Kirby.
I get a call from her, and she said she was robbed.
She was targeted by this man, captured on the building surveillance cameras. He'd been trolling up and down the building unnoticed.
Went to another office where there was a male individual, and he made small talk and left, and then made it down to where my wife was.
When his wife came face to face with him, he told her he was looking for an attorney's office. When she tried to help, he pushed her into her office and robbed her.
Obviously, she doesn't feel safe there anymore.
Police told them it's likely he'd been scoping out the building and looking for the easiest target. But after fleeing the building,
he went on a little shopping spree in the Kirby 59.
First of several stops was at this academy, where surveillance cameras show him buying all sorts of Houston sports jerseys before walking out to his white Impala.
Within the course of about 1 hour, he spent approximately $3,000 on credit cards.
Now this family hoping to warn others in office buildings in the area to be on the lookout for this guy, should he come creeping around again.
Ultimately, I'd love to see him locked up, but I'm sure this is not his first time to do this.
Now, if you recognize the man in that video and in those pictures, you're asked to call Houston police right away. We're live in Upper Kirby tonight. I'm Marcelino Benito, KHOU 11 News.
Thanks, Marcelino. Let's take a live look outside now, where it's a mild but warm early evening, a little muggy out there. By the looks of it, you would never guess there's some potentially severe storms headed our way.
You never know what's around the corner. David Paul is tracking rain. Okay, when will it get here? How much rain? Who's going to get it?
It's going to be impossible to tell exactly where those severe storms are going to pop up.
I said where?
I know. Well, north of I-10 is the best chance. It's a day where we just kind of have to ride along together, and if one of those severe storms pops up, we'll break into programming and on social media. Here's the event, the storm system digging a trough in the upper levels all the way down to the Baja of California. That's an intense low pressure area. It's coming our way. It will give us a chance for a severe storm. That's why the Storm Prediction Center has painted East Texas, and we here in Southeast Texas in the yellow area, the slight risk for a severe thunderstorm north of I-10. What are the threats? Well, hail, wind gusts to 60, and maybe an isolated tornado. So coming up, we'll talk more about the isolated nature of this threat and the cold air that's coming in for the weekend. I'll see you guys in a few minutes.
All right, thanks, David. And you can track the rain as it moves in. Just go to the weather section of KHOU.com and the KHOU 11 app.
Well, this guy evaded police for more than 30 years. Now his days of freedom are over after he made a dramatic escape from prison. This morning, U.S. Marshals arrested 58-year-old Stephen Michael Paris in Houston, hundreds of miles away from the prison near Oklahoma City, where he escaped back in 1981. Now take a look. An old mugshot of Paris on the left and his current one on the right. He has been living at a company off the South Loop. Investigators say Paris was using a fake name, but when his mother died in Houston 6 days ago, they tracked down that fake name because it was on her obituary. Paris was originally convicted for possession and distribution of drugs.
Detectives have tracked down the 13-year-old boy they say shot and killed his sister-in-law's ex-boyfriend. The shooting happened Friday at a home in the Channelview area before the victim, 24-year-old David Jimenez, was driven to a Shell gas station. Detectives questioned the boy. They are not filing charges. They plan to hand the case over to a grand jury.
Tonight, Houston megachurch pastor Kirby John Caldwell is free on bond. Caldwell surrendered to federal authorities in Louisiana just a few hours ago. He pleaded not guilty to defrauding investors out of more than $1 million. Adam Bennett has more on why Caldwell's attorney is confident the pastor will be vindicated.
Well, Caldwell was in and out of this federal courthouse in Shreveport in about an hour. He and his co-defendant, Greg Smith, a financial planner here in Shreveport, both gave up their passports. They agreed to stay here in the country and make every court date in this ongoing legal battle. The Windsor Village United Methodist pastor and one-time presidential spiritual advisor did not answer questions before or after his first court hearing. Court records suggest Caldwell and Smith promised high returns to convince clients to invest in now worthless bonds from pre-communist China. Prosecutors claim the two used that money on personal items like a mortgage and car notes. But Caldwell says he has evidence that shows he believes the bonds were legit. And he contends that he intended any profits to go back into the church and its ministries.
As everyone knows, a grand jury hears one side and one side only. The old saw is a grand jury can indict a cheeseburger if they want to. We believe in our hearts and in our souls that the jury's going to do the right thing at the end of this trial and acquit Pastor Caldwell of all charges. Thank you all.
Caldwell's lawyer has said any investor who wanted their money back has gotten it. Neither Greg Smith nor his attorney had any comment on the way in or out of court. Prosecutors with the U.S. Attorney's Office also declined to comment on this case. The next step, a status hearing on June the 27th. If convicted, both men could spend up to 30 years in prison. Reporting from Shreveport, Louisiana, Adam Bennett, KHOU 11 News.